We're talking about the Irish soccer team and their preparations for the World Cup in Germany in 2006. Will they get out of their group? Will the enormity of the occasion catch them? What's morale like in the camp? I mean, have the right balls and kits arrived on time so we won't have a Saipan incident? How will they deal with the massive media presence? And most importantly, will they do Ireland proud? Wait a minute, this is a lot of rubbish. Wishful thinking. Sadly, we aren't going to the World Cup in Germany. Or are we? That is the question. On line 4, it's been too long. Brenda, how are you?
Hello, James, how are you?
I'm very well indeed. It's so good to talk to you. We're going to the World Cup.
We are, yeah. Hang on, can I just give you a little hug over the airwaves?
Yeah.
Love you. Yes, great news. I mean, obviously I was initially disappointed at the beginning, but I'm now delighted to say that our soccer team are going to the World Cup in Germany, but they're in a hell of a group. They're pitched against Belgium, France, South Africa and Japan. Now, unfortunately, I'm not talking about soccer you play on a pitch. I'm talking about soccer you play on a table. I am talking about the Irish table football team, or foosball, as it's called. You know that table soccer
foosball. So wait a minute, this isn't Subutio where you sort of flick your finger around in the ball. No, right, okay.
Oh God, the people I'm with here are in horror at such a suggestion. No.
Wait a minute, are you trying to tell me the foosball is better than Subutio? Subutio's 10 times more skillful and 10 times more... Okay, right.
Right, I'm telling you, you are going to be so dead by 10 o'clock.
Oh, and just tell me that again. Belgium, France, South Africa, who else?
Belgium, France, and Japan.
Okay, now tell me about foosball then.
Right, it's a table about 5 foot long. You've got your metal handles, you've got your football figurines, and it is 11 aside. A ball is thrown in, and you fly from one end of the table up to the other, trying to turn the handles and get the ball to go into the goal. Now, that sounds very simple, but it's a very complicated game. But on May 25th in Hamburg, the Irish International Foosball team will compete in the first International Table Soccer Federation World Cup. That's 20 countries from around the world: China, USA, Czech Republic, Argentina, etc. 200 of the best football players in the world, thousands of fans, 20,000 media representatives. And this morning, I am in the Camden Palace Hotel in Camden Street, and I am with the team captain and members of the team. And I was just thinking about it, right? There is a massive vacuum, a massive hole, a massive heartbreak in the Irish soccer supporter psyche this summer. And I thought maybe we could lift a little bit, maybe we could fill the gap in a tiny way by supporting our Irish football team, who are going to be giving it all in Germany. What do you think? Would that
sounds pretty cool to me, actually. I think you're certainly selling it pretty well, considering that we're not in Europe, all right. But I mean, like, the foosball thing it's one of these machines you see in every gaming arcade and every second pub all across the world, etc. And that's probably why everybody around the world is involved in it. It's very interesting.
Absolutely.
But
it's actually.
Have you ever played it?
Well, I've just played it there now. I'm bloody good.
Are you?
I am very good.
And you throw the ball in through a hole in the middle and off it goes, and then you just...
And that's it. You turn around, you have to move one end of the table. But you have to be very fast. Hand-eye coordination.
I must say, I never thought of it in terms... Then again, I mean, years ago, people didn't think of darts in this way, or even snooker up to a bunch of years ago necessarily either. So I never thought of it in terms of being so skillful that one would actually get onto a team, that one would represent one country. I must say, I'd rather be representing my country in foosball than the Eurovision. But anyway, enough of that. So
how can you say that about Brian? Be very
Every song is a cry for love.
Well, this is what they usually be singing, I think, out in Germany. But apparently football is America and Asia's fastest growing indoor sport. And when played at the highest level, the contestants have to be both mentally and physically very fit.
And you're reading from the brochure. Do you believe all that, do you?
No. Well, I do, because I've had to play against these lot, and they're very fast.
Right.
The shots are snake shots, pole shots, push and kick, pin shots. Anyway, 6 Irish men players, 2 ladies and 2 substitutes, travelling out. They'll be competing in the men's doubles, the women's doubles, the men's singles, and the ladies' singles.
Hold on a second. You got substitutes. You bring subs with you, yeah? Brilliant.
You never know.
In case you injure your wrist, kind of thing.
Well, actually, I remember my husband got PlayStation elbow. Like, you can get serious.
Well, I'll tell you, we had the guy on who won the air guitar championship in Sweden, or whatever. And do you know something? He brought his own roadie.
I like that.
That's one of the better ones, all right. Yeah. Anyway, go on, tell me more. Snake shot.
An eye in the ball.
Listen, can I just say, now that you're on that subject, if you got your hands on the handles that are on your side of the table, and the other side isn't a handle necessarily, it's just the end of a kind of a metal rod or whatever, maybe I should be asking the other guys this. You can use it as a weapon, can't you? To do exactly what you've just done, a slip-up of there.
That's it. Well, keep your distance is what I'm being told.
Yeah, right.
But you could get a wallop in the eye, a wallop in the solar plexus coconut with the ball. You know, there are necessary reasons to bring this up. Anyway, this team, they're not made up of people who actually train all day, although they do. What I mean is they're not paid full time for it. They're not working out in special compartments and oxygen tanks. We have a chef, we have a stay-at-home dad, we have a granddad, we have a restaurant manager, an accountant, taxi driver and a social worker. Now I have the captain of the team with me.
Hold on, they have a chef. Oh, sorry, a chef is one of the participants. Oh, right, okay.
And their own driver.
They'll have their own stylist. Okay, go on, yeah.
I have Norman Clooney, he's a chef. He's ranked number 1 in Ireland and 8th in Europe. And he is in serious preparation mode for the World Cup. Remember, he is representing our country, folks, so give him respect. Norman.
She said that just before I start talking, just in case I start getting kind of all Eurovision on you. I won't.
Morning, guys.
Norman, how are you? Good man yourself. Norman, the first question I want to ask, you're ranked 8th in Europe. How does one get to be ranked 8th in Europe? What do you do to be ranked 8th?
It's actually a matter of playing tournaments, international tournaments, but we've got to travel to Germany and Europe to play in these tournaments.
And how did you get into all this kind of thing? I mean, you must have just fallen into it like any kid does, is that it?
Well, I used to play a lot of pool and snooker in a well-known snooker hall in Ranelagh. I came across table soccer tournaments, weekly leagues, so I just got hooked from there.
The well-known snooker hall in Ranelagh, is that the same one that our very own Irish champion started in? Ken, listen to her. Yeah, Ken started there, didn't he? He did indeed, yeah.
Ken actually used to play a bit of foosball as well.
Right. And I mean, what do we call it foosball?
Table soccer.
Table soccer, yeah, exactly, yeah. Okay, so you got into that and you just enjoyed playing it. And did you realise you had a real kind of an aptitude for it, that you were good at some stage?
I'm very competitive, yeah. I mean, it took a while. It's not something you can actually take up and win maybe in 2 or 3 weeks. It does take quite a few months, maybe a year, 2 years.
And is there major kind of eye-to-hand coordination involved in this? It's really speed is of the essence.
Very much so, very much so. Hand-and-eye coordination is it's the fundamental of the game. But it actually, the better you get at it, your reflexes get better, faster. Yeah. So, yeah, very much.
Yeah, go on, Brenda.
No, I'm just wondering how, you're going to the World Cup in Hamburg, you're representing the country. How many hours would you practice a day?
At the moment, I'm actually doing 2 to 4 hours a day, probably 5 6 days a week, and that's just for the World Cup.
And who are you playing with fellow teammates now, or are you just playing with anybody who'll play?
No, team members. We have weekly team meetings 2 times a week, so we practice, we pair up with each other.
And are all these tables like of uniform standard size? Are they the same size?
They're the same size. There's different specifications on different models of tables, but in general, yeah, same size, same weight, same idea. Okay, well, you say a certain amount of hours every day at the moment of World Cup preparations. What else do you do in World Cup preparation? Because I'm sure, that mind business, it must be a bit of a, can't say the word mind on the radio, but you know what I mean? It must blow you a little bit. After about an hour, you must be wrecked. Absolutely. Some matches can actually sometimes go over an hour for one match, but it's more mentally. The higher level of the game, the mental side comes into the game. So, there is a level of fitness, but it's more mentally.
Yeah. When you say it could go over an hour, your soccer match is 45 minutes aside, etc. So, is it a time thing or a score thing?
It's a score thing, actually.
And what's the score?
This is one game for first to 7.
First to 7?
Yeah.
And could it happen that there could be up to 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 15 minutes without a goal?
Sometimes you could probably get 5 minutes without a goal. Maybe it would be unusual for a 10 minute, not for a goal to be scored. But yeah, it could drag out.
I say there must be a lot of own goals, are there?
Yeah, quite a few.
And you drag the thing back by accident. Oh, jeepers, there we go.
We have special names for them.
What's that?
Flop. We like to call them flop.
Flop. Do you know what I was just thinking, right? If I was your partner, right, and you were going out and you were doing that 4 or 5 hours a day, my head would be a bit wrecked, there'd be issues. How do you get over them? Tell us about your partner.
Louise Herring's my girlfriend. We've been together a long time. I'm very lucky there. She's actually very competitive too. So.
Wait a minute, she plays as well.
She is
She's the number 1 ranked female player in Ireland and the UK, and possibly number 1 lady in Europe.
Hold on, let's start again. You're the number 1 in Ireland, and your partner is the number 1 female in Ireland.
In the UK and Ireland.
And she's bigger in Europe even than you are, because you're only your measly number 8.
Possibilities there.
You're calling the domestics there. How did you meet? mean, what's it? Louise is here. Come in, Louise. Say good morning.
Oh, Louise is there.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, very good, Louise. Very good.
Can I just reiterate, Ireland and the UK #1 table soccer ladies champion, and her boyfriend.
Right. I'll tell you what, hold on, just before we talk to Louise, I really want to play a question. I mean, like, I was going to ask Louise, does she play with Norman? And I will directly after the news. Back to you in a minute.
Alrighty.
Hello.
Dad, I'm making a barbecue. Can you help me out?
Ah, you want my famous secret sauce?
Dad, I'm making a barbecue. Can you help me out?
Oh, I see. Okay, first you need bricks, mortar, carpenters. As an O2 Speakeasy customer, you can enjoy 1 cent calls and texts all weekend. So whatever you're doing this weekend, you can talk to whoever you want for as long as you want. 1 cent weekends, only from O2. Our way of saying thanks. Terms and conditions apply. O2. See what you can do. Oh, that's sweet.
Sweet? What sort of talk is that? What's so sweet? Is it a fluffy little bunny stuck up a tree or an old granny who does karate? Oh, sweet.
No, it's an investment product that's actively managed, but your capital's guaranteed.
Right. That is sweet.
Talk to you. In the June issue, we take a look at 6 readers' homes, have over 200 pages of regular features, plus articles on flooring, fabrics and alfresco living. The June
strike for the 5th day at Dublin St Patrick's Cathedral. The HSE says they have personnel on the ground. Already, a number of the men have been taken to hospital as a result of the hunger strike. The Justice Minister, Michael McDougall,